Ripping harder, more less. Never stop, no rest. Till the stress is breath in my chest. Till it's diamonds wrapping my neck. Progress to a god from a goddamn mess. Hopeless, more tests. More blessed. Dug deep down, trying to find my best. Find a beast, had to kill a conquest. I'm next. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down to make new thoughts. Like jumping off of that rooftop. Oh, I never when I do not to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yours. Steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. I'm full of stage, trying to find my pain. I'm seeing something coming out of that rain. My day really not tame. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never behave. I'm stuck inside this prison, inside this cage. It's taking over. I'm a slave for you. To the bottom of the bottle, I've been drowning, I've been floating away. Every other dollar that I got in bed, I probably went and pissed it away. I ain't fucking okay, I ain't liking it, babe. I don't even wanna talk, I'm just smoking my haze. I've been stuck in my ways, I've been stuck in for days. I've been staring at the clock as the radio plays. I'm enslaved. Yeah, rolling another, I'm stuck in my seat from the whole control of my speech. Yeah, I've been trying to get off this couch for a minute and a whole damn week. No kidding, I'm skinny, I cannot eat. Got a million motherfuckers that depend on me. Yeah, every friend in my family, from a girl, every fan I meet myself. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down to make new thoughts, like jumping off of that rooftop. Oh, I never when I do not to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yours, steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. Full of stage, trying to find my pain. I see something coming out of that rain. My day really not tame. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage. It's taking over. Yeah, I'm a slave for you. Slave for you. Ripping harder, more less. Never stop, no rest. Till the stress is breath in my chest. Till it's diamonds wrapping my neck. Progress to a god from a goddamn mess. Hopeless, more tests. More blessed. Dug deep down, trying to find my best. Find a beast, had to kill a conquest. I'm next. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts. Like jumping off of that rooftop. Oh, I never when I do not to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yours, steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. I'm full of stage, trying to find my pain. I see something coming out of that rain. My day really not tame. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage. It's taking over. Yeah, I'm a slave for you. I'm headed to the bottom of the bottle. I've been drowning, I've been floating away. Every other dollar that I got in bed, I probably went and pissed it away. I ain't fucking okay, I ain't liking it, babe. I don't even wanna talk, I'm just smoking my haze. I've been stuck in my ways, I've been stuck in for days. I've been staring at the clock as the radio plays. I'm enslaved. Yeah, rolling another, I'm stuck in my seat from the whole control of my speech. Yeah, I've been trying to get off this couch for a minute and a whole damn week. No kidding, I'm skinny, I cannot eat. Got a million motherfuckers that depend on me. Yeah, every friend in my family, from a girl, every fan I meet myself. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts, like jumping off of that rooftop. Hold my devil when I do nothing to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yo, steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. Full of stage, trying to find my pain. See the sun coming out of that rain. My day really not game. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage. It's taking over. Yeah, I'm a slave for you. Ripping hard and more less. Never stop, no rest. Till the stress is breath in my chest. Till it's diamonds wrapping my neck. Progress to a god from a goddamn mess. Hopeless, more tests. More blessed. Dug deep down trying to find my best. Find a beast, had to kill a conquest. I'm next. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts. Like jumping off of that rooftop. Hold my devil when I do nothing to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yo, steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. Full of stage, trying to find my pain. See the sun coming out of that rain. My day really not game. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage. It's taking over. Yeah, I'm a slave for you. I'm headed to the bottom of the bottle. I've been drowning, I've been floating away. Every other dollar that I got in bed, I probably went and pissed it away. I ain't fucking okay, I ain't liking it, babe. I don't even wanna talk, I'm just smoking my haze. I've been stuck in my ways, I've been stuck in for days. I've been staring at the clock as the radio plays. I'm enslaved. Yeah, rolling another, I'm stuck in my seat from the whole control of my speech. Yeah, I've been trying to get off this couch for a minute and a whole damn week. No kidding, I'm skinny, I cannot eat. Got a million motherfuckers that depend on me. Yeah, every friend in my family, from a girl, every fan I meet myself. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts, like jumping off of that rooftop. Hold my devil when I do nothing to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yo, steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. Full of the stage trying to find my pain. I see the sun coming out of that rain. My day really not game. I'ma never slow down, I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage, it's taking over. I'm a slave for you. Slave for you. Ripping a hundred more less. Never stop, no rest. Till the stress is breath in my chest. Till it's diamonds wrapping my neck. Progress to a god from a goddamn mess. Hopeless, more tests. More blessed. Dug deep down trying to find my best. Find a beast, had to kill a conquest. I'm next. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts. Like jumping off of that rooftop. Hold my camera when I do nothing to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yours. Standing killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. I'm so stage trying to find my pain. I see the sun coming out of that rain. My day really not game. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage, it's taking over. I'm a slave for you. I'm headed to the bottom of the bottle. I've been drowning, I've been floating away. Every other dollar that I got in bed, I probably went and pissed it away. I ain't fucking okay, I ain't liking it, babe. I don't even wanna talk, I'm just smoking my haze. I've been stuck in my ways, I've been stuck in for days. I've been staring at the clock as the radio plays. I'm enslaved. Yeah. Rolling another, I'm stuck in my seat from the whole control of my speech. Yeah, I've been trying to get off this couch for a minute and a whole damn week. No kidding, I'm skinny, I cannot eat. Got a million motherfuckers that depend on me. Yeah, every friend in my family. From a girl, every fan I meet myself. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts. Like jumping off of that rooftop. Hold my camera when I do nothing to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yours. Standing there killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. Full of stage trying to find my pain. I see the sun coming out of that rain. My day really not game. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage, it's taking over. Yeah, I'm a slave for you. Yeah, ripping harder, more less. Never stop, no rest, till the stress is breath in my chest. Till it's diamonds wrapping my neck, progress to a god from a goddamn mess. Hopeless, more tests, more blessed. Dug deep down, trying to find my best. Find a beast, had to kill a conquest, I'm next. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts, like jumping off of that rooftop. Hope like never when I knew enough to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yours, scandally killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. I'm so ashamed, trying to find my pain. I'm seeing something coming out of that rain. My game really not tame. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never behave. I'm stuck inside this prison, inside this cage. It's taking over. I'm a slave for you.
Xin Zhao getting that in right before the nerfs, that is going to be that is an excellent pick. And then Akali coming out from the side of red side. The Charles, or I'm sorry, Uber JJ. What do you think of those first couple of picks?
I think from the beginning we see like a lot of dive between Zinzao and Akali. Ezreal's a pretty safe pick, pretty universal pick in the bot lane.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I think the most telling thing is the bans on blue side, Viego, Karma, and Morgana is a lot of pick potential that apparently they don't want to deal with. On the OC side, they've banned a lot of engage in the Nocturne and Vi. So I think right now, until the draft starts filling out a little bit more, I think the bans tell most of the story so far.
Yeah, exactly. I think that with the Thresh coming out, I think we could probably see something, an ADC. I was just about to say an ADC with uh, less mobility, but Vayne does have a little bit of mobility with her ultimate and with her Q. I would have loved to see something like an Aphelios with the Thresh, but that is not what CCG is looking at. And with Ezreal being a kind of wanting to farm up in the early game,
Hmm.
the Vayne pick actually is pretty safe, allowing both of them to kind of just chill in the lane phase and just kind of scale up, get their first couple of items, and then making impacts later around
Hmm.
the map.
Yeah, exactly. I like the Thresh with the Zinzao because Lantern gives you a lot of mobility within the fight.
Mhm.
So you can bring Zinzao into range as a gap closer so that he doesn't have to waste any of his just to close the distance so he can get it right up into the fight off the start. Galio coming in as a ban on the red side, followed up by Malphite. So they're really not interested in playing against any kind of wombo combo.
Exactly. The Galio being banned out is going to make it hard for the would have really made it a lot easier for the Xin Zhao to get in, be able to pop his ulti and be able to get rid of those priority targets, especially given the fact that when you have an Ezreal with Flash and with Arcane Shift, you're just going to it's going to make uh, getting on top of him very, very difficult. So being able to have some of that CC, having some of the ways to get on top of him, it would or denying those ways to get on top of him actually make CCG's attempt to delete the Ezreal effectively a lot harder, as well as the Akali. If you're standing in the middle, even if you're standing in the middle of your shroud and Galio stands there and tries to taunt the whole thing, it's gonna make Kali have a bad time. So I really respect
Yeah.
the Galio ban, as well as the Malzahar ban. Again, we're talking about these heavy CC comps. They really don't want them having they really want to get rid of a whole lot of that CC, because like you were talking about earlier, they really don't want any kind of wombo combo sort of thing coming out on top of them. They have a very mobile team with the Akali, with the Ezreal, with the Graves. So they kind of just want to be able to play to that strength. They want to be able to move around the map. They don't want to have to worry about getting super super CC'd, and well, you know what they say, CC equals GG. So they're making sure to
Mhm.
take a lot of those abilities off the table.
Yeah. Uh, so now that the draft is filled out a little bit more, I'm noticing that there's a lot of single target CC that they've banned out on the side of OC and the Nocturne and the Vi and the Malzahar. They are really drafting defensively, very defensively for the Ezreal, it seems like. They want Ezreal to be a free bird, throwing out mystic shots. Um, and they just really don't want him locked down at all. So I'm going to be really looking towards the bot lane as far as plays, because they've drafted so defensively around the bot lane to make sure that it has everything it needs to survive and thrive. So I'll be a little bit disappointed if they throw out all these bans and nothing happens in the bot lane.
Yeah, and I think that since Ezreal's nerfs, or I'm sorry, since the nerfs to Divine Sunderer, I don't think Ezreal has been as strong a pick. I'm not saying that he is not a strong pick at all. I think that putting a lot of eggs in the Ezreal basket, I don't think is as strong
Mhm.
a way to go into this game. Now, with the Cassiopeia, they're definitely giving themselves they're definitely playing to the hard scaling side of they definitely want to scale very hard. Ezreal and Cassiopeia, as well as Graves, they scale ridiculously hard, while Vayne really is the only champion on the side of CCG that really scales much.
Mhm.
You see Xin Zhao spike in the mid game. You see Set spike in the mid game. But
Mhm.
that's really it.
Yeah, you're really looking for a strong start for CCG. I will say that they have actually drafted a front line that exists.
Yeah,
There's no tanks, there's no front line on the side of OC. They're really looking to play a kiting style with some Ezreal poke, some Zyra zoning, some Cassio zoning. Uh, Graves can be on the side splitting or can add a little bit of burst along with a Kali to really try and execute on the back line. But there's really no front to back here. It's all just poke, and they're hoping to deal enough damage before CCG finds an engage.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly. Yeah,
yes.
I was. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
Uh,
On the CCG side, I think they have a more balanced composition as far as second split push, second coming on the fight. There's a lot of CC on the side of Lissandra. Xin Zhao, I think, is going to be the real difference maker on the comp. I think CCG lives and dies on the side of Xin Zhao, because if he can survive the Cassiopeia damage, the Azrael damage, the Zyra damage with his ultimate mitigating range damage, I think OC will find it really hard to find agency in these fights.
yeah, I agree. I think that one of the things that I was just thinking about was CCG's very the set, the Xinjiao, they all want to jump in and they want to stir things up. If you the one of the kind of downfalls of the set pick though is none of the Oasis Cloud champions have build any real bonus health. So while Set will get he will get some damage from his ultimate, you wouldn't see as much coming out if they had drafted something larger on the Oasis Cloud side. Um,
Mhm.
what do you think? What do you think would have been a good tank or a some sort of front line that would have been good for Oasis Cloud here?
I mean, you're really looking at just about anything. You're looking at Ornn, you're looking at Renekton, just the literally anything would have been better than the tissue paper that they've got going on right now. But if this is their style and they can execute on it, then that's their choice. I think Set, in particular, you talked about the lack of a front line, a lack of an easy ulti target to really set up a fight
Mhm.
and get in there. I think this is where we want to see a lot of innovation coming from the top lane player to try and set up our. You want to see build diversity, really, is what you want to see.
Yeah,
So you probably want to look for either Set to go tanky himself or to build into more of a split push style. You can still go Bork. I think we actually talked about this earlier today, going Bork and then Hullbreaker for a really strong split push.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but it's really up to him to see what he thinks his team needs and what he needs to do to succeed for himself.
Yeah, exactly. So while I believe we are waiting for the draft and for our spectator delay to go through, let's talk a little bit about the matchups here.
Okay.
So first, coming into top lane, we have I'm assuming it's Akali versus Set. I wouldn't imagine we would be seeing anything like a Cassiopeia top, but that would be super spicy, something that I would love to see. But I think it is Akali into Set. I know
Mhm.
that Akali can be very oppressive in lane. Her having the ability to just queue through the wave and get that constant push into Set can be kind of a pain in the early levels, unless, of course, Set can play around her cooldowns really well, making sure that he's getting that first push, playing around his minions, playing around his ability to, do things like the getting his level 2 advantage first, making sure that he's just really taking advantage of those leads.
Mhm.
Because if that doesn't happen, Seth's gonna have a bad time.
Mhm.
He does have, I mean, he can, of course. I know how much you hate when I run boots first. But if he starts off with his Merc Treads first, having that ability to kind of mitigate that CC, or I'm sorry, not that CC, um, that MR, having a little bit of that MR ahead of time does kind of help, and which also might help with things like as well as the Graves smokescreen. So I think that might not be a terrible first item. What do you think? Am I totally off my rocker here?
Actually, I've been really thinking about the matchup this whole time,
Uh,
and I'm thinking that I would rather see Set into Cassio.
really?
Because one of the really big things for Akali in lane, especially in melee matchups, is she wants to play around her shroud. She wants to be invisible and getting that extra bit of chunk damage off without any fear of retaliation.
Mhm.
But Set with his E can actually pull her out of shroud and just wail on her a bit,
Mm.
and that's something you want to avoid. You don't want to get wailed on.
No,
Um,
absolutely not.
And Set's only real way to engage is to just run at you. Running is all the man can do. With Q, he can run a little bit faster. Um, but Cassio's Q also makes her run a bit faster, or slither, or whatever your verb of choice is. And she also has miasma to just repeatedly send empowered E's into your face. So I think it's really a coin flip. Maybe if I had seen more Oasis games, I'd be able to make more of a confirmed call.
Hmm.
But I wouldn't be surprised to see the Cassio in the top lane. I think it would be a better pick into set specifically. But if Kali's just been doing time in the matchup and they are confident in their ability to play it out, then it's really a coin flip.
Yeah. So now let's go into the jungle. We've got
Hmm.
Xin Zhao versus Graves. Like I was talking about before earlier in the draft. Graves definitely outscales Xin, but
Hmm.
the simple fact of the matter is that if Xin can snowball early, if he can get that, if he can find Graves somewhere early on in the match and basically take him out of the fight, take away his camps, kind of slow down that scaling as best he can, that would
Hmm.
really, really make CCG's life a little bit easier, allowing their ability to, uh, I don't know, cut off Graves at the knees, if you will. You really don't want him.
Hmm.
You really want him hitting his spikes as late as possible. What do you think?
I think what we're gonna see here is Xin Zhao is good to gank uh, literally as soon as he finishes his buff. He can just
Mhm,
run with a bot lane if he wants to go down and do a 3-man level 1.
mhm.
Uh, just the empowerment with the Q knockup is just insane at level 1. Um, but you will want to see Xin Zhao ganking early, and at that point, it's really up to Graves to decide what he wants to do, because he can either try and counter pressure, or he can decide to power farm. And if he sees Xin Zhao gank in the bot side, then what you can see is Graves going to counter jungle on the opposite side while Xin Zhao is visible on the map.
Mhm.
And I think that'll be a real difference maker as far as tempo goes. Um,
Yeah,
it's
for
going
sure.
to be really interesting to see that unfold.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So now we have Cassiopeia into Lysandra. Uh, I
Mhm.
know I correct me if I'm wrong, but you cannot E out
Mhm.
of or Lysandra. You cannot Lysandra E out of miasma. Is that correct?
No, you cannot. Uh, any movement gets disabled by the grounding effect, obviously.
Yeah.
Really, this matchup seems excruciatingly boring to me on paper. Uh, Cassio's just going to want to queue or farm up and get strong.
Mhm.
Lysandra is going to probably really struggle to find agency without jungle ganks. But Xin Zhao Lysandra is pretty strong as far as a ganking tool. So if Cassio ever overextends, it'll be an easy target. But ideally, Cassio just wants to stay really safe, farm with Twin Fang. So Lissandra's probably just going to look to really shove the wave and roam, uh, looking for a lot of global pressure out of Lissandra.
Yeah, exactly. And as we are about to hop into the game here, let's just go ahead and talk real quickly about our match in the bot lane. Vayne Thresh with with Ezreal and Zyra. Now, I don't see Zyra a whole lot. So I'm really interested to see how this match is going to play out. I know the the Ezreal and the Zyra, I
Mhm.
I don't see I see that duo being kind of counterproductive, right? Because Zyra really wants to she wants to proc a lot of her plants. She does want to have a lot of lane pressure. While Ezreal kind of just wants to chill. I guess it does make having Zyra on the squad does make it a little bit easier for Ezreal. So uh, I think like you were saying about the mid lane, oh my gosh, we've got an early game
Yeah.
invade here. I personally think that the bot
Yeah.
lane is going to be kind of a slugfest. Personally,
Hmm. I think what you're looking at here, I think the purpose of the Zyra pick is a budget Karma pick because Karma was banned. I think they were looking for something to fill that role as far as giving a little bit of appeal and security while filling in the double range role. They want double range into melee support. They're looking for kill threat on Thresh, I believe. His armor is famously the lowest in the game until he starts racking up souls and building items. So Thresh is really vulnerable in the early levels. They did try a little cheeky invade. They got some vision down. Red side red is warded. So we'll see how that affects pathing and lane behavior.
Yeah, I would be surprised if Graves didn't go for a full clear here in the first few levels. But you'll see Xin Zhao going from his red directly to his chickens, probably to his blue, and then his Gromp before trying to meet up with Graves at the scuttle. You see they are pathing the exact same way, so in about a minute we will hopefully get to see a little bit of action. What I was talking about earlier with the matchup between Vayne and Thresh into Zyra and Ezreal, you'll see that Zyra and Ezreal already have lane priority. They're really far pushed up. So the fact that Graves is actually pathing from his blue to his red actually seems not the most ideal way to path, but of course that does allow them to get their early back off. He probably, I would imagine, is going to pick up a longsword or perhaps maybe his boots and then come back to lane. Oh, nope, he is actually going to go for a cheater's recall and pick up his call. And Graves, you know, like I was saying, is just going to go for his full clear. He's going to go ahead and concede that first scuttle over to OC, and we will, or I'm sorry, over to CCG, and that means that he is going to have to path it down back to his bot side if he does, to make sure that he doesn't get double scuttled.
Since I'm getting a lot of vision here, seeing that the red side's all gone, I want to talk about now, because now we know it's Akali top and Cassio mid for sure. And Akali's making up the CS difference from the first few levels right now. But she was struggling for a second, and I feel like that's due to just the matchup. Ooh, that's an even health trade from behind. That's good play from Akali right there.
Yeah, it was interesting. While you know, Set just went up and facebreakered Akali in a giant wave of enemy minions. And especially in these early levels, those minions do a lot of damage. So if you don't have to take those minions to the face as well as turret shots, it's you don't want to. So
Yeah.
that was quite an interesting choice from Shangalim. But he's not backing down at all. He really wants to.
He's playing really aggressive.
Yeah,
oh, that's a kill. Yeah. So first blood over to the side of OC. That's 2 times in a row where Set there used the Haymaker aggressively to try and trade damage. And he wasn't doing it in minions, so that's just a free E from Akali while you're a stationary target.
Yep.
So we're going to be really looking. That's a flash from Thresh. A lot of damage coming in from Graves. Ignite ticking. It's not going to be enough. Thresh is walking into the enemy. Nothing's going to happen. Lissandra burn TP to defend the Vayne, but it's walking back to lane now. Wait, flashes from Graves and Lissandra. Cassio blowing ulti. Xin Zhao falling down. Lissandra taking the lantern.
Yeah.
And
that was a really good. That was a really good collapse from the side of OC. They definitely they definitely had their communication on point. I don't understand quite why why Lysandra TP'd in there. I don't think that there was really anything that could have been done. I think that they were both Thresh and Vayne were both out during the fight, and so the fact that Lysandra TP'd in was kind of just a waste, and they were able to quickly translate that into the first Ocean Dragon, which definitely doesn't feel good. Does not feel good. Especially when you have these, you don't want to allow OC to Dragon Stack when they are when they're a scaling team.
Oh, it's again coming in from Zinsao. Kali hanging out in her shroud, ulting out to safety, flashing out. Lysandra is gonna die under tower. Dive from CCG.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. Kali mechanics coming in with the E follow-up onto Zinsao and the ulti to safety, as well as securing the kill. Is looking like a really rough start for CCG. 0-4. At a 2,000 gold difference right now.
7.5 minutes in. Whew.
Yeah, this is not looking too fantastic. I was glad to see Set learn about the preemptive Haymaker, but he's taking damage from the Kali TP right now. He's looking to back.
Yeah, exactly.
But talk about the fight from earlier. I believe the Lysandra TP was to try and deny the dive onto Vayne. Vayne was like one auto away, and with Ezreal flash up and heal up, probably would have been an easy dive. So not the worst, most questionable TP in the universe, but it definitely sucks to have to use that resource up just to defend against a good play on the side of OC.
Yeah, exactly. And now you have a 2-0 Akali, you have a 2-0 Cassiopeia, which in solo queue, you see that and you're like, oh, great, GG next, right? Right, guys? And so I think that when they are fighting for these next couple of, when we are fighting for these next objectives, it's going to make CCG's job a little bit harder. I don't see Xin Zhao really getting a whole lot done. And when with the fact that that is what you pick Xin Zhao for, especially in the early to mid game, if you're not getting a whole lot done, you're losing a lot of the agency that comes with that pick. So I really I want to see something like this, like he's doing right now, the lane gang. But here's the thing, now Akali is
division.
Oh, she's got a taste for blood. She wants that set. She knows what's up.
With the Kali continuing to deal damage very slowly. She missed the E, which is such a huge part of her damage profile nowadays. The E base damage is honestly insane. I don't know why Riot decided to put 400 plus damage on a basic ability, but that's just the world that we're living in right now.
That's right.
Right now, to return to our conversation from the draft, we're looking at the scoreline right now, and the Akali and the Cassio are pulling ahead, and we were really questioning the lack of a front line on the side of OC. But when the squishier targets are so fed and so hard to kill, you really don't need one. So they're looking to be in a good spot right now. Akali CS is equal to Set after the early game deficit on top of the 2 kills means she's ahead. Graves is widening a 20 CS lead right now in the jungle, and then Cassio is getting a mid lane tower. She just got 5 plates, and she also is at a 30 CS lead, 2 kills up. So Cassio is just running away with this game.
Yeah, exactly. Scintilla, could we get a look at the gold? Okay, well, we'll ask him about that later. But yeah, they definitely do have the lead for this time. I know that once Vayne gets a couple of items under her belt, but the fact that she rushed Berserker Greaves first is going to make her damage a little underwhelming at first. It's going to slow her ability to get to her Kraken Slayer. So that is going to be a little bit rough. But we are only 11 minutes into the game with a almost with a 4,000k gold lead on the side of OC.
Yeah.
What do we want to? What do we need CCG to do in this particular situation?
They really need to stop their bleeding. They need to really. You see, OC just now was clearing a lot of bot side vision. You saw them on the top side doing the same thing, but bot lane is just really vulnerable to ganks right now. Vayne is pretty squishy, doesn't do a lot of damage. She's looking to scale, and Ezreal has a solid gold advantage right now with this 30 CS lead. Also with the recent adjustments.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Right.
Well, the recent adjustments, you see Ezreal spike pretty well off of just Fiend and Tier, and he has the Warhammer on top of it. So he's in a good spot to deal damage. Vayne just got Noon Quiver, so she's in a slightly better spot. But you're really concerned for the bot lane with the Ezreal damage. His ulti does a lot of magic damage. So it's a very diveable lane in the bot side for the side of OC.
Yeah, exactly. You see Graves pathing down bot. Oh no, Thresh! But they are engaging, and it looks like Vayne is going to pick up Louis Vuitton here, and they are 5-manning down bot side. They really wanted to get something back.
Oh, that was a good turnaround. They engage on Ezreal, they kill Ezreal, and Ezreal dies with flash up, which is always unfortunate. Lissandra is in an interesting position. Very interesting. Oh no. Oh no, everyone's taking damage, Set's taking damage, Set's going down. Xin Zhao's looking to run away, grabs the lantern.
Whew. That lantern was clutch.
Yeah, that was definitely something. I don't really understand why Lissandra was there. Set wanted to be a superhero there, and died for the trouble.
Yeah, exactly. You saw Lissandra E over the wall, and I was thinking to myself, okay, cool, they're going to continue the dive. But then here comes the rest of OC, and they're just like, nah. We're gonna get another 3 kills, and we're not gonna allow you to do that anymore.
And I have to bring attention to something real quick. This has been the trend the entire game so far, is that the side of OC has been really making plays, but if you look at the summoner spells for top, mid, and jungle, OC has them all up. They aren't using anything to make these plays happen, and if you look on the flip side, Set's out of summoner spells, Xin Zhao is flash, Sandra is flash but doesn't have TP. There's a lot more resources being committed to deny the plays than there are to make them, and they're still losing. So this is a really worrying trend for CCG, and something that they're really going to have to turn around. That being said, we're looking for ways for them to get back into the game. It's not like there's nothing to do here. Having a front line is still a big deal. Xin Zhao will always be tanky to the side of OC just because there's a lot of range DPS on their side, and all Xin Zhao has to do is press R and he doesn't die. Or he forces them to move closer out of the position that they really want to play in.
Oh, the hook onto Ezreal.
Hook lands, takes half his damage. Zyra root lands on both though, and Thresh goes down for his trouble.
Yeah, that's and now Vayne just has to back off. She can't do anything. Now this will make it a little bit easier for Vayne to be able to farm in some of these situations where you know you're behind, and Vayne can see this, that she's 40 CS down. Having that first turret down isn't actually that terrible of a thing. Yes, you lose some global gold, and so I'm not saying that it is a good thing, but the fact is that now Vayne can stay a little bit farther back on the map. She can look to farm a little bit easier and get to those items a little bit quicker.
Yeah, and she's looking to farm real hard because they're down about 8,000 gold now. I don't really know where that extra 4,000 gold came from, but every time I look at the scoreboard, OC is doubling their gold lead from 2,000 after the first fight to 4,000 after the next one, and now 8,000. They're just running away with this game. It's really up to CCG to stabilize and try and get them stop digging this hole, first of all, and then start filling it back in.
Yes, exactly. And there you see the, oh my gosh, Lysandra has no E now. Yeah, she has the old, the cleanse. Oh man, yeah. Oh.
Okay,
The
okay,
haymaker.
the set. Oh, set turns
Oh
it around.
my gosh, she got it. Nice, nice.
Pulling out a trade when you're down like that is absolutely fantastic. Fighting the bot lane. Here you see exactly the Xin Zhao tankiness with the ultimate. It expires though, so he has to back up. The flash from Ezreal secures the kill on Xin Zhao.
Yeah, yeah. So they did get that trade back. So it wasn't all that terrible of a trade, which is, I mean, not something. I mean, you CCG really needs.
Oh, that's a kill.
Oh
yeah.
God, when
Tagged
you
with
can
the Q.
when you can get tower dove by a Cassiopeia, that doesn't ever feel very good.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't much of a dive. Just a little tag with the Q and the E follow up, just to secure from the dot.
Yes.
Yeah, and then again, Cassio gets a kill there. Still has flash up. Vayne's out. Summoner spells. Just about all the summoner spells are gone except for Thresh, making sure that he has some playmaking utility, I guess. But yeah, and then we're 50 CS difference in the mid lane, 50 CS in the bottom lane. Top lane's about 15, 20, 25. This is still, it's a very well, winnable might be hard. Winnable might be hard, but CCG still has some potential in this game. Again, Xin Zhao very tanky. Lysandra with double stasis can live for a long time in these fights. Vayne constantly does damage. It just gets faster and more consistent as the game goes on, and she builds attack speed. So they've still got options. They've still got power. They are probably looking for OC to make a mistake.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they win without OC slipping up at some point with the snowball.
Yeah, and here's one thing that I was just thinking is, look at the vision from OC in their blue side. That is an easy Rift Herald from the side of for the side of OC. So the simple fact of the matter that you have Akali farming the top side. You have, oh, look at that. They're just pinging the Rift Herald right now. So hopefully we'll see that come out shortly. I mean, they don't have all that much time to do it, like, if they wanted to, but they've had the last minute to actually try and do that, and then they could have just snowballed even harder. But looks like Lysandra is not going to get out of there.
Another kill.
Yeah.
Another kill for Cassio. Xin Zhao misses the W, I believe. That's a double kill for Cassio.
But the Thresh
but they might... Nope. No. No.
Oh
no.
my gosh.
Oh, Ignite for the shutdown? No, not enough. Triple kill for Cassio. And to respond to someone in Twitch chat saying that every game's winnable. Every game is definitely winnable. It's just a matter of, in this game in particular, it's a 12,000 gold diff. It's really up to OC to make a mistake to allow CCG to get back into the game.
Yep.
So it's up to CCG to keep their mental up and keep doing what they can to build resources for themselves. But it's really up to OC to give them an opportunity to get back into this game.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing to point out, I hate to keep ripping on CCG. I know that we do love a good
just dancing around them. Ooh, that's a good tag by Xin Zhao. Akali is not getting away from this one.
Nope,
so here's a mistake from the side of OC. Not enough to get them back into the game. Maybe if that kill had been on someone like Cassio with the 1,000 gold bounty right now. But it's still gold in the pockets. It's still Akali being benched for 30 seconds, not building any more XP or gold leads for herself. So it's good to see from the side of CCG.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing to keep in mind is that OC, they don't stop. They don't stop scaling. Not for a while, anyways. So what I would really like to see out of CCG is I would really like to see them capitalize on the mistake like Rainy Day made on the Akali in the top lane. I'd love to see them try and move their vision lines up a little bit in the blue side. You do see that we have 2 wards for CCG in their blue side, but making sure that you have access to that Baron when it comes up, or I'm sorry, when they do want to start fighting for it. But oh no, Xin Zhao
has tank hacks. Gets to live on account of his R being up, even when Ezreal ulted right there. I think the R was still up. But yeah, but we're looking at the Cassio now. Cassio has 3 completed items, Death Cap being one of them, with on top of Seraph's Embrace. There's just a lot of AP coming through from Cassio, and with her E scaling her healing based on percent value of her AP, she's just going to be really hard to kill. A little bit of max health from... Oh no, she doesn't get max health from Real, but just the amount of healing coming through from the Twin Fang empowerment is going to make her hard to kill.
Yeah, and and now we have Soul, or now they have Soul. So a scaling team with the dragon stacking win condition. You have to imagine that CCG's mental is probably going a bit boom right now. So
a little bit.
What I really think that they should, if I were in their position right now, what I would do is slow down. They really, really need to stop forcing these plays because at this point they can't. They simply can't force these plays.
Thresh goes wide, taking damage from the back. Thresh goes down first. Xin Zhao goes down second. Set's just trying to get something back, but is getting explode. Oh, he gets a kill on Graves, but trades it for his own life.
Look at Akali. Akali's just pushing down bot side.
Yeah, she doesn't care about anything. She's just living her best life. Ezreal just flinging out Qs like they're going out of style. And really, it's looking like the beginning of the end. Well, kind of like part way through the end. But I was going to say before this fight started that Infernal Drake is not the most fantastic, not game-ending for someone, or for OC's team comp, because the only one who's going to be really applying it consistently is Ezreal. If you walk into Zyra's range, then it's a problem. You walk into Cassio's range, then it's kind of a problem. But the only one who's really putting out lots of poke consistently is going to be Ezreal. But if they're so strong that they can just run you over with a 16,000 gold lead, it's looking like right now, then you're not really interested in nuances like that, I guess.
Yes, exactly. And like I was saying, I was talking about CCG really wanting to slow the game down. Because look, you see Xin Zhao, you know, at this point he can't even walk into his own jungle. Here comes Ezreal, about to blow him up, and it just seems like that CCG is really just they want
themselves at them.
Yeah, exactly. They're making all these desperation plays, and in League of Legends is not a game of desperation. Like if you're desperate to make a play, to make something happen, you're gonna make mistakes, and it's just gonna make it easier for OC to capitalize off of those mistakes. And there's the Cassiopeia ultimate, and I think that's
looking like a deathless game for the Cassio.
Yeah, I think that is pretty much it. I mean, the death timers are... Yeah, they still have another 10 seconds. I mean, Xin Zhao is up. Vayne is coming up in 4 seconds. But I think that is just
miasma and deny everything, yeah.
Exactly.
Gonna just rack up some more for the end game. Cleanses the threshold to deny is...
Oh god, Akali! They're just trying to
get in on the party too, but that's going to be game for OC. 23-5.
24 to
Perfect
5.
game for the Casio. 24.
Yeah, exactly. That's whew, that was a rough game for CCG, but we can't say that OC didn't play it really well. I mean, like you said, 12-0 for Cassiopeia, 5-1 for the Ezreal.
Close enough.
Yeah, it's just that's really hard to see. That was hard to watch. Scintilla, could I get a view of the damage graph real quick?
Uh,
Let's see
I
here.
will predict that the Casio's damage is going to be pretty astronomical.
Yeah, exactly. The and Xin Zhao dealing the most damage on CCG, the side of CCG, but not anywhere even close to the to Cassiopeia or Graves or
Oh, let me
Ezreal.
just get damage to champions. Sorry. That's
Uh,
total damage, not just damage to champions. That's the section up. There we go. Yeah, it's still about the same story. Xin Zhao still did the most damage to champions. Casio still dealing the most damage on the OC side, but it's
that's kind of Vayne doing the least damage to champions this game. That is a feels bad. But the fact is that that allowing that Ezreal to just kind of free farm and allowing that Ezreal, or I'm sorry, the Zyra to basically keep you off the wave, uh, for Vayne to be able to even get in a word edgewise just makes it really, really tough.
Yeah, and I will say an argument for the Vayne is that really your team is supposed to protect you as the ADC, so you can stand still and right click. And Vayne was not getting any opportunities to sit still and right click.
Yeah.
She can try and like weave some tumbles to get some mobility while still maintaining auto attack DPS, but she was just getting absolutely no time from the just relentless engage of OC.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, we are going to go ahead and take a short break while we wait for the next lobby to get set up. So we will be right back.
More less, never stop, no rest, till the stress is breath in my chest, till it's diamonds wrapping my neck, progress to a god from a goddamn mess, hopeless, more tests, more blessed, dug deep down trying to find my best, find a beast, had to kill a conquest, I'm next, I'm too on till I'm too off, come down, make new thoughts, like jumping off of that rooftop, hold my devil when I do not to make moves based on my mood drops, like who's lost, it's yours, steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame, I don't wanna lose it, I'm full of stage, trying to find my pain, I'm seeing something coming out of that rain, my team, really my team, I'ma never slow down, I'ma never behave, stuck inside this prison, inside this cave, it's taking over, I'm a slave for you. I'm headed to the bottom of the bottle, I've been drowning, I've been floating away. Every other dollar that I got in bed, I probably went and pissed it away. I ain't fucking okay, I ain't liking it, babe. I don't even wanna talk, I'm just smoking my haze. I've been stuck in my ways, I've been stuck here for days. I've been staring at the clock as the radio plays. I'm enslaved. Yeah. rolling another, I'm stuck in my seat for the whole control of my speech. Yeah, I've been trying to get off this couch for a minute and a whole damn week. No kidding, I'm skinny, I cannot eat. Got a million motherfuckers that depend on me. Yeah, every friend in my family. From a girl, every fan I meet myself. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down to make new thoughts, like jumping off of that rooftop. Oh my devil, when I do nothing to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yo, stop. Steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. Full of stage, trying to find my pain. I see the sun coming out of that rain. My team really not game. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage. It's taking over. Yeah, I'm a slave for you. Slave for you. Ripping harder, more less. Never stop, no rest. Till the stress is breath in my chest. Till it's diamonds wrapping my neck. Progress to a god from a goddamn mess. Hopeless, more tests. More blessed. Dug deep down, trying to find my best. Find a beast, had to kill a conquest. I'm next. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts. Like jumping off of that rooftop. Oh my devil, when I do nothing to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yo, stop. Steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. I'm full of stage, trying to find my pain. I see the sun coming out of that rain. My team really not game. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage. It's taking over. Yeah, I'm a slave for you. I'm headed to the bottom of the bottle. I've been drowning, I've been floating away. Every other dollar that I got in bed, I probably went and pissed it away. I ain't fucking okay. I ain't liking it, babe. I don't even wanna talk. I'm just smoking my haze. I've been stuck in my ways. I've been stuck in for days. I've been staring at the clock as the radio plays. I'm enslaved. Yeah, rolling another, I'm stuck in my seat for the whole control of my speech. Yeah, I've been trying to get off this couch for a minute and a whole damn week. No kidding, I'm skinny, I cannot eat. Got a million motherfuckers that depend on me. Yeah, every friend in my family. From a girl, every fan I meet myself. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down to make new thoughts, like jumping off of that rooftop. Oh my devil, when I do nothing to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yo, stop. Steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. Full of stage, trying to find my pain. I see the sun coming out of that rain. My team really not game. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage. It's taking over. Yeah, I'm a slave for you. Whipping 100 more less. Never stop, no rest. Till the stress is breath in my chest. Till it's diamonds wrapping my neck. Progress to a god from a goddamn mess. Hopeless, more tests. More blessed. Dug deep down trying to find my best. Find a beast, had to kill a conquest. I'm next. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts. Like jumping off of that rooftop. Hope I never when I do nothing. Make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yours, scandally killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. I'm full of strange, trying to find my pain. I'm seeing something coming out of that rain. My team, really my team. I'ma never slow down, I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage. It's taking over, I'm a slave for you. I'm headed to the bottom of the bottle. I've been drowning, I've been floating away. Every other dollar that I got in bed, I probably went and pissed it away. I ain't fucking okay, I ain't liking it, babe. I don't even wanna talk, I'm just smoking my haze. I've been stuck in my ways, I've been stuck in for days. I've been staring at the clock as the radio plays. I'm enslaved. Yeah. Rolling another, I'm stuck in my seat for the whole control of my speech. Yeah, I've been trying to get off this couch for a minute and a whole damn week. No kidding, I'm skinny, I cannot eat. Got a million motherfuckers that depend on me. Yeah, every friend in my family. From a girl, every fan I meet myself. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts. Like jumping off of that rooftop. Oh my devil, when I do nothing to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's your stuff. Scandally killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. I'm full of stage, trying to find my pain. I see the sun coming out of that rain. My team, really my team. I'ma never slow down, I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage. It's taking over. Yeah, I'm a slave for you. Slave for you. Whipping 100 more less. Never stop, no rest. Till the stress is breath in my chest. Till it's diamonds wrapping my neck. Progress to a god from a goddamn mess. Hopeless, more tests. More blessed. Dug deep down trying to find my best. Find a beast, had to kill a conquest. I'm next. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts. Like jumping off of that rooftop. Oh my devil, when I do nothing to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yours, scandally killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. I'm full of stage, trying to find my pain. I'm seeing something coming out of that rain. My team, really my team. I'ma never slow down, I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage. It's taking over. Yeah, I'm a slave for you. of the bottle, I've been drowning, I've been floating away. Every other dollar that I got in bed, I probably went and pissed it away. I ain't fucking okay, I ain't liking it, babe. I don't even wanna talk, I'm just smoking my haze. I've been stuck in my ways, I've been stuck in for days. I've been staring at the clock as the radio plays. I'm enslaved. Yeah. Rolling another, I'm stuck in my seat for the whole control of my speech. Yeah, I've been trying to get off this couch for a minute and a whole damn week. No kidding, I'm skinny, I cannot eat. Got a million motherfuckers that depend on me. Yeah, every friend in my family. From a girl, every fan I meet myself. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts, like jumping off of that rooftop. Oh my God, but when I do nothing, make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yo, steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. Full of stage, trying to find my pain. See the sun coming out of that rain. My day really not game. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage. It's taking over. Yeah, I'm a slave for you. Slave for you. Ripping harder, more less. Never stop, no rest. Till the stress is breath in my chest. Till it's diamonds wrapping my neck. Progress to a god from a goddamn mess. Hopeless, more tests. More blessed. Dug deep down, trying to find my best. Find a beast, had to kill a conquest. I'm next. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts. Like jumping off of that rooftop. Oh my God, but when I do nothing, make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yo, steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. Full of stage, trying to find my pain. See the sun coming out of that rain. My day really not game. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage. It's taking over. Yeah, I'm a slave for you. I'm headed to the bottom of the bottle. I've been drowning, I've been floating away. Every other dollar that I got in bed, I probably went and pissed it away. I ain't fucking okay, I ain't liking it, babe. I don't even wanna talk, I'm just smoking my haze. I've been stuck in my ways, I've been stuck in for days. I've been staring at the clock as the radio plays. I'm enslaved. Yeah. Rolling another, I'm stuck in my seat for the whole control of my speech. Yeah, I've been trying to get off this couch for a minute and a whole damn week. No kidding, I'm skinny, I cannot eat. Got a million motherfuckers that depend on me. Yeah, every friend in my family. From a girl, every fan I meet myself. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts. Like jumping off of that rooftop. Oh my God, but when I do nothing, make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yo, steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. Full of stage, trying to find my pain. See the sun ripping harder, more less. Never stop, no rest, till the stress is breath in my chest, till it's diamonds wrapping.
And welcome back. We are getting into game already. I am so sorry. We had some technical problems getting the game getting the game started. But we are here ready to see Crystal Cave Gaming Amethyst go up against Oasis Cloud in game 2. We are we didn't get to see the picks and bans, so we're going to go ahead and run through that real fast. We have on the side of Oasis Cloud, we have Akali, Kane, Aurelia, Tristana, and Soraka. And Uber Cheche, who do we have on the side of CCG?
We're rolling down with Set in the top lane, Hecarim in the jungle, Galio mid, and Jinx Lulu in the dual bot lane. And it's really more of the same as far as bans go and as far as CCG's draft. Because the bans for OC was more dive. They swapped it up with Zinzao. They added Zinzao in there on top of the Nocturne and Vi. And then on the CCGA side, it was really a hodgepodge of stuff that's strong in general. You got the Gwen, you got the Viego, you got the Karma. Cassio is a target ban, and then Malphite is a playmaking ban. Really, the only real change we're seeing as far as in-game, because you see CCG still rocking the good front line. Got Set, got Hecarim, got Galio. But you're also seeing that now from the side of OC. We've got Aurelia and Kane. Kane taking Conqueror is usually an indicator that he's looking to go red form in this game. So you got a really solid front line. You have Soraka's going to be the HP battery in the back. Lots of engage with Kane, Aurelia, Tristana, Akali. Everyone's looking to go forward. So it's going to be a very exciting game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm really excited, especially because every single time I see a Jinx in the game, I know it's going to be exciting. Jinx is just she's just so strong. You give Jinx 2 items and allow her to just sit in the back firing rockets, you're gonna have a bad time. And we again, we were talking about the last game with Set in the top lane against into this Akali. Just taking those face breakers, especially when he's basically in the enemy minion wave, you're gonna take a bunch of minion damage, and you're level 2. Like, I don't understand why he keeps doing that, and so that just really makes me sad. But anyways, moving past my frustration with that, we do see that again. The bot lane for Oasis Cloud does have priority in the bot lane. Again, they're going to go and pull that same move they did last time. They're going to go back, get that Tristana a Cole, and they're putting that insurance that they will have that if they do fall behind in the lane, that they have a little bit of insurance to kind of mitigate that moving forward. Now, I am not terribly familiar with the Aurelia into Galio matchup. So what do you think about that? I know with Galio's taunt, it is going to kind of give some CC to Aurelia, but you don't really want a fully stacked passive of Aurelia auto-attacking you, so...
Yeah, you absolutely do not. The only real benefit lies in team fights, because Galio can keep channeling his taunt through crowd control. So you're in a big fight, you see Aurelia land the R, land the stun, and you're just channeling it the whole time, so that as soon as she goes in, you just pop that taunt, and so she's not attacking your carries.
Here's a gank from Hecarim. And the stun, the double stun comes out from Aurelia, but First Blood does go over to the side of CCG. They are not happy with what happened last game, and they are pulling it out. They are saying, we are going to make some plays. We are not going to let them do the same thing they did to us last game again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to see signs of life early on, especially after a loss like that, because mental strength is definitely important. And so being able to bounce back after a loss like that uh, shows the potential for great things coming from this team.
Yeah, exactly. And, they were able to get the flash out of Kane on the while he was trying to invade the red side. And Set is just taking a bunch of damage up in the top lane, which is really unfortunate. He does have a huge wave, so it's not like he can. He's got a huge wave crashing into his tower, so he can't really do a whole lot except continue to take poke
Mhm.
if he wants to stay up in gold. He is already 10 CS down, which is unfortunate, but he does have the wave here. Um,
Um,
his I can't talk about the face breakers anymore, Charles. I'm gonna let you take it from here. Yeah, I can't do
yeah,
it.
he's trying real hard. He's pressing buttons. He's trying to do some things. Um, I'm actually a little bit questioning. Hecarim was actually top side when the wave was crashing. I would have liked to have seen him come top to try and pressure Kali off the wave so that that can maybe get a freeze started. But you
But
see him
here's
go
a
mid,
gank.
repeat gank on the Aurelia. Looking like
But
she's gonna go
Kane
down
is
eventually.
here. Yeah. Oh my God! And the
Yeah.
solo kill
Solo
from
kill.
Set
That's
and on a Kali. That is wow. Okay.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
this
If
is.
you're
Go
if you're a
ahead.
CCG fan, you're having a great time right now.
That's
This is
right.
exactly what you want to see. Akali going down to the solo kill in the top lane. Kane just getting a drive-by view of the solo kill in the mid lane, or in the gank mid lane. So this is exactly what you want to see. This is the opposite of what happened last game, where the generally weaker lanes in the early game were just snowballing out of control in the early game, just speeding through their weakest point of the game. But now you really see them taking advantage of the fact that their lanes are stronger in the early levels.
Yeah, exactly. And that Infernal Drake is not anything to sneeze at. But Hecarim is looking, he's kind of hanging out. He definitely does want to make something happen down on the bot side, but another face breaker into the Akali. Soraka is moving up a little far forward, but there's the ultimate from from Hecarim. The fear coming through, the Jinx rockets just going straight to Soraka's face. And it looks like that will be it. They don't. It doesn't look like you get anything out of that particular gank, but it does make it a little bit easier. It does relieve some pressure on the side of CCG, so they can keep. Oh my God, with the
Tristana
rocket
hops
jump
in. Okay. Oh
and
no, you did the face breaker again.
the haymaker
And
comes out, but it does not. It does go wide, unfortunately. So no damage quite. No damage does land on the Akali, unfortunately.
I'm
But
actually really curious why they let Soraka walk away. Because after everything was said and done, Soraka had already burned Flash while Hecarim was still on top of her. They could have chased that kill down. I feel like they still had summoners up on bot side. Maybe they just wanted to play more conservatively, but I would have liked to
here's
see
the
the
TP.
option come out. But yeah,
And
here's the taunt on the Flash of Soraka. They're gonna back up again.
yeah, but Tristana
Tristana
does.
poking him on the way out.
Yeah, yep, exactly. The Tristana does still have another a 15 CS advantage down on the bot side, so that does mean that oh my God, but Kane gets eat by the Hecarim and the taunt comes through, the ultimate from Kane, and
Just delaying the inevitable.
yep, exactly. And here comes Aurelia, but they are fighting a 4v3 right now. There's the Aurelia goes the Aurelia. I can't talk right now. The Tristana is still there, but she is going to flash out. The Jinx Zapper doesn't quite land, but Hecarim is able to get a kill on the Soraka, and it is, yeah, there's nothing that Tristana can do. She does die to the minions, which is quite unfortunate. But hey, when you've got 10 HP and you go face tank a minion wave, that is what is going to happen. I don't understand why Kane was chilling in the enemy blue side. I mean, that invade just didn't seem like the wise thing to do. What do you think?
Oh, right now I was just hoping that Akali didn't take the E. Right then, I thought she was thinking about it for a minute, but I'm just really curious. Did OC get their siblings on the computer or something? Because this is a totally different level of play to what we just saw unfold over the last game that took place over the last 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
This is just a complete flip of the script.
Yeah, exactly. And the only thing that I can really think of that has really changed things is they've changed to red side. I'm wondering if CCG feels more comfortable with counterpick than they do on the blue side. Blue side does have a higher win rate, which is odd, but at the same time, it's like, oh my god, E comes out, the haymaker.
Just throwing out some...
Oh, but here comes the ult from Set, and the ultimate from Akali. She's not going to be able to get the second cast off, but she does heal. Oh my gosh.
Oh my lord.
What? Wait. What healed her just then?
Soraka ulti.
Oh, okay, yes.
Soraka... Wait,
my
does
god.
Kayn just get solo killed? Set passive actually heals for an awful lot. Passive health regen increases the lower HP you are. So on Set you get up to around 18 health per second when you're missing like 9% of your health, 99% of your health bar.
Oh my gosh, there's the taunt.
Yeah.
TP coming in from Sheng Lauren, and but there's Kayn. Let's see, can they get the taunt in? The Aurelia ultimate comes in, but Akali's here as well. The Kayn ultimate, and it looks like, oh my god, Akali is able to get in there and tear them up. Kayn just made it out with, by the skin of his teeth. That was quite the play there in the mid lane. The TP coming in. Yeah, the TP coming in from the Akali was pretty much what saved Kayn and Aurelia there. Without that, I think that goes a much different direction.
I would say that it was really a vision gap because they didn't actually see the Kayn just chilling in the bush. So as far as OC is no CCG. As far as CCG was concerned, it was going to be, they're TPing in for 2v2, and they had the TP was channeling sooner.
Oh my god, this Hecarim!
Very speedy Hecarim going in.
But here comes the TP.
Soraka.
Yep, here comes the TP from Akali, or I'm sorry, from Akali, or I'm sorry, Aurelia. Oh my god, I can't talk. But the Hecarim is running in. He does manage to get his hands on the Aurelia, but the Jinx in the backline just firing those rockets like I was talking about before. If she can just keep doing that, she is going to make the side of Oasis Cloud have a really bad time. The Haymaker, the top lane is just kind of trading back and forth. Let's see the Akali go in. Come on, Rainy Day, let's do it, let's go. But this does allow them to get the Cloud Dragon, their second dragon of the game. It does look like we are going to be getting what's the soul we are getting? Mountain Soul. Awesome. What do you think about the Mountain Soul here?
I think they're going to have a really hard time if CCG keeps stacking Drakes like they are. Between Akali burst and Tristana burst and Kayn damage, you're really going to have a hard time getting kills on the really just enormous frontline from CCG. And then Lulu is free. One of the things about the ADC Lulu bot lane when you're on a squad of tanks is that you're free to just continuously drop all of your utility on the Jinx. Just every single shield off cooldown every 4 or 5 seconds. The ultis for the massive health gain. That's all going onto the Jinx, so you're just never going to be able to kill her.
Yep, exactly. And now they've rotated Gleason and the kid up to mid lane, so they're just continuing to farm. But here comes Hecarim again, and there's the chain gun coming out, and Gleason will pick up another kill on the Soraka. But there's the face breaker coming through on Akali. But here's Kayn. Kayn is not happy about what's been going on. The The ultimate from Set is coming through, but
Oh,
they're...
the rocket from downtown.
Oh my gosh, that is fantastic. But Hecarim is coming through with the... Where is the E? I want to see it. Where's the taunt? Oh my gosh, but there you go. There's the Jinx rockets just coming in. Oh my gosh, what happened? What on earth? Where did this team come from? We... They are... Okay, so last game they were playing all early game champs, and now they're playing all... they're playing a much different squad than they did last time, but they are not happy about what happened last game.
Yeah, they were just really determined to get on the board. It seems just a tinge of desperation in their plays from OC. But I will say, though, it is 14 kills to 3, but the goal difference is only about 1,500. It's not insurmountable. You see the reason for this primarily is mid lane, you got a 30 CS difference, bot lane, you got a 30 CS difference, on top of the call that just finished for Tristana. So she is even more, probably equal to Jinx with her 5 kills.
Scintilla, can we get a look at the gold?
It's CS lead slightly for Akali in the top lane. So it's really tight. It's still anyone's game.
There we go.
XP levels are about the same across the board. Everyone's looking about the same level, thanks to the...
Yeah.
And yeah, you see, Tristana's only 300 gold behind. It's anyone's game, 600 difference in the mid lane for CCG. Top lane is actually a massive swing for Akali. In spite of being down, that's 1,000 gold up for Akali.
Yeah, she is 20 CS up, and she does also have 2 kills. Same with Set. So that is, you don't... Here's the thing. Yes, Akali is up, and Akali can be super scary for the Jinx. But I think the simple fact that they are using Set as more of a frontline than they are anything else, I don't see that gold difference being too huge an issue, especially since you have 1,000, what was that? I think 1,500 gold lead on the Hecarim, who's going to be your main engage tool, especially if you can get the showstopper into a onslaught of shadows. That's a lot of CC and a lot of really easily accessible CC. And then if you can land the ultimate from Galio, I can't remember for the life of me what that is called. Not Last Stand. It is. I'll think of it shortly. But yeah, a lot of that easily accessible CC is just gonna make it's just a lot. Oh my god, I can't talk. It is going to be very difficult for Oasis Cloud to get anything done because with all that CC, you're just not going to be able to get onto the Jinx, and that's really what you want to do is get onto the Jinx.
Yeah, and I mean, you really want Akali to be able to one-shot the carry, even through all the shields.
But there's the... Go ahead.
Nope.
Oh my god.
Lots of CC.
Oh my god, there's just so much damage coming through, but the Jinx rockets are coming through, and there's another one on Akali, but the zap comes out. Oh, she is not quite able to get to the Tristana, but I thought she was going to chase her around, but she is not, in fact, going to do so. But they will be able to take that turret mid, and it looks like a free dragon. Man.
Yeah, they just cracked this game open like an egg. That's a 3-for-0. That's at least 2 towers, it's looking like, on top of the Drake. So this game was very close about 30 seconds ago, but if you just blinked and you're coming back to us, it's a totally different game. The game state's totally flipped.
Yeah, exactly. And it was kind of crazy because we were having a conversation, and then all of a sudden this fighting broke out, and I was like, oh no, I can't talk fast enough. There's too much going on. So yes, that was, if you're watching this game, that was a very, very, very good fight. And you're gonna have to excuse my... Oh my god, Tristana rocket jumps in with the explosive charge. It does go off, but the haymaker is just not enough to be able to take out, or I'm sorry, to be able to save his life from the 1v5 that went through. But here's the thing. The 1v5 means that you're able to get the Jinx, the Hecarim, and the Lulu just free firing down on your turret down on the bot side. So honestly, don't think it was quite worth. I mean, one kill for one tower. Maybe Akali gets the the top tower. If Galio really wanted to, he could teleport up there to stop that. But I just I think I don't know. I don't think it's worth. What do you think?
I mean, trading. I'm sorry, I'm just totally blanking out because I'm looking at item purchases right now, to be honest. Trying to figure out why they did so much damage to Set, and it feels like it's because Kane picked up the shield shred item, Serpent's Fang.
Yeah,
so that just absolutely murdered Set's survivability. And it really just seems like they have a vendetta against Set because sure, Galio has like a little bit of a passive magic shield, which is nice for taking like a big budget AP spell, but you're really looking at the percent reduction for magic damage for Galio for his main source of tankiness.
Yeah.
And then Lulu is dropping a little shield pretty frequently, so she's not really gonna feel the Serpent's Fang in the same way because it's being procced repeatedly throughout a fight. So that item really just seems like it was for Set, and they really pursued him while they're killing Akali right now.
The devastating charge does land on the Akali, but unfortunately she is able to ult away. They weren't able to get enough CC, but the stun does come out for Akali. The Facebreaker comes out as well as the Haymaker, but it does not look like Set is going to be able to 1v1 the Aurelia. That is just feels bad. But Hecarim is able to get in on the Tristana, but she is just going to rocket jump away, and Hecarim is able to get out. We are not going to get anything. It looks like just a 1-for-0 because Aurelia is able to 1v1 that Set.
Yeah, just poking and prodding, throwing some spells, seeing what happens. The solo kill in the top lane, that's just Aurelia with Blade of the Ruined King. Super potent item for Aurelia. So what that does, what Set should take from that, because him dying there, not a huge deal. He's 2-4. He didn't give up a shutdown. Just realize that you cannot match the Aurelia in a 1v1. So just be careful, throw down some wards, make sure you know where she's at, and try and split push when she's not there and group when she is.
Yep, exactly. It does look, I would be surprised if he doesn't go for the Hullbreaker here. It looks like he's been spending a lot of time in the side lane. So I think that would definitely help his ability to try and 1v1 the Aurelia. I don't know if that's really going to help with the Bork's percentage max health damage. So, but I would be surprised if that isn't what he purchases next. It is a very, very strong item on Set, like we were talking about before. Bork into Hullbreaker, but I mean the Stridebreaker with the slow it just makes Set so sticky. You just can't get off of him, and all he has to do is slide around you and ult you backwards, and that's gonna hurt. It's not gonna feel good at all. But But for the side of CCG, they are setting up around this dragon. I can't see. Oh, the devastating charge does miss. It doesn't go through, which is kind of unfortunate. Scintilla, if we could get a timer on the dragons, that would be dope. I can't quite see it with the mini map, but that's okay. We'll fix it later. But yeah, the dragon is coming up
within 30 or 45 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Hourglass just ticked gold. So while they're setting up, I really like CCG's position here.
Here comes Kane. Kane is able to get his Q. Oh my gosh, but the devastating charge comes out. The Onslaught of Shadows. Akali goes in with her ultimate. She is able to get her E off, but she's trying to get that second cast of the E, or I'm sorry, her ultimate, but Jinx is just in the back. Look at those rockets. She's just doing so much damage. The Jinx ult does come out. She is able to pick up that last kill. The triple kill does come out for Hecarim, and Jinx is just saying, nah, you're not getting away. That does mean the ace for the side of CCG, and that also means Soul, the Mountain Soul. Oh my gosh, the surrender! Oh my gosh, you do not see that very often. Wow. Wow. Babe. Okay, so you see, you see the complete stomp from game 1, and then you see Oasis Cloud surrender in game 2. Like, my mind is actually blown. Like, what is this? What is happening?
They see the 808 Jinx on the other side with 200 CS, and I guess it's just such an insurmountable obstacle for them that they just don't want to play the game anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's very strong, and you see there like exactly what the comp wants to do. You just have all these meatballs in front that by the time you've whittled through 2 of them, Jinx has just killed the rest of your team.
Yeah, yep, exactly. And with Akali doing the most damage, you know, she doesn't do any damage to champions. She did 11,000 damage to champions, but she doesn't do a whole lot to tanks. Like, it's just not, that's just how it is. But Jinx pumping out 14k damage, you just, this is why I love Jinx so much. She, you know, once she gets rapid fire cannon, she has just change her critted rockets. They're just disgusting. And then, you know, her ults is nothing to sneeze at too. I mean, we saw her land like what, 3 or 4 of them, and they blow up your team. It's just, I mean, obviously that's a rocket, but yeah, that is just very, very good plays from Jinx that game. What do you think? What do you think
I mean,
we're gonna see here coming up in the next game?
Well, I'm just really glad that we saw such a flip of the script compared to game 1. It just means that we're really going to have a serious this game.
Yeah.
That's always good to see signs of life, and it means that both teams have the potential to come away with this third one.
Yep.
Third game's completely up in the air. I just want to reiterate a point earlier about the Serpent's Fang purchase, is that that's not the reason why Set was killed there, but so much of Set's survivability is wrapped up in his shield that cutting it by 50% really just he might as well just be an assassin. He's just so squishy. But I'm looking forward to seeing some adaptation from the side of OC, because one of the really big strengths of CCG's comp is that even if you've tried to get onto Jinx in the backline, you're going to get snap taunted. That's just an unavoidable thing that's going to happen. Galio just taps W, presses R, you get a massive shield, followed by a knockup. It just creates such a massive zone of pressure when you're trying to get onto a priority target, and there's only one. So everyone on CCG is just looking at Jinx, thinking, "What does she need from me right now?" And it's usually a really simple answer: CC, field, whatever. So it's a really easy to execute comp, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the pick ban and the draft reflects this apparent kryptonite for OC's gameplay.
That's right. Now we are going to go ahead and take a quick break. We are going to, as soon as we come back, we will be right into pick and ban. So stay tuned.
control of my speech. Yeah, I've been trying to get off this couch for a minute and a whole damn week. No kidding, I'm skinny, I cannot eat. Got a million motherfuckers that depend on me. Yeah, every friend in my family. From a girl, every fan I meet myself. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts, like jumping off of that rooftop. Oh my devil, when I do nothing to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's your stuff. Steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. Full of stage, trying to find my pain. See the sun coming out of that rain. My day really not game. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage. It's taking over. Yeah, I'm a slave for you. Ripping hard and more less. Never stop, no rest. Till the stress is breath in my chest. Till it's diamonds wrapping my neck. Progress to a god from a goddamn mess. Hopeless, more tests. More blessed. Dug deep down trying to find my best. Find a beast, had to kill a conquest. I'm next. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts. Like jumping off of that rooftop. Oh my devil, when I do nothing to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's your stuff. Steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. Full of stage, trying to find my pain. See the sun coming out of that rain. My day really not game. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage. It's taking over. Yeah, I'm a slave for you. I'm headed to the bottom of the bottle. I've been drowning, I've been floating away. Every other dollar that I got in bed, I probably went and pissed it away. I ain't fucking okay. I ain't liking it, day. I don't even wanna talk. I'm just smoking my haze. I've been stuck in my ways. I've been stuck in for days. I've been staring at the clock as the radio plays. I'm enslaved. Yeah. Rolling another, I'm stuck in my seat from the whole control of my speech. Yeah, I've been trying to get off this couch for a minute and a whole damn week. No kidding, I'm skinny, I cannot eat. Got a million motherfuckers that depend on me. Yeah, every friend in my family. From a girl, every fan I meet myself. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts. Like jumping off of that rooftop. Oh my devil, when I do nothing to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's your stuff. Steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. Full of stage, trying to find my pain. See the sun coming out of that rain. My day really not game. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never behave. Stuck inside. and 100 more less. Never stop, no rest, till the stress is breath in my chest. Till it's diamonds wrapping my neck, progress to a god from a goddamn mess. Hopeless, more tests, more blessed. Dug deep down, trying to find my best. Find a beast, had to kill a conquest, I'm next. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts, like jumping off of that rooftop. Hope like never when I knew not to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yours, steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. I'm so strange, trying to find my pain. I'm seeing something coming out of that rain. My pain, really my tame. I'ma never slow down, I'ma never behave. I'm stuck inside this place, inside this cage. It's taking over, I'm
And welcome back to our stream of CCG Amethyst versus Oasis Cloud. We are jumping right into picks and bans. We've got Viego being banned on the side of CCG. They have opted to, I'm sorry, OC has opted to take red side this game. So I'm wondering if they have something that they want to pull out as a counter pick to this Jinx, perhaps. They did miss a ban from that side, so we will find out exactly what it is that that ban was for. But Uber Cheche, tell me a little bit about what you want to see out of CCG Amethyst's draft this game.
I actually really liked the draft from last game. It was an improvement over the original draft, even though the original draft performed better in game. It's just always nice to have a front line and some agency, whether or not you're going for the full dive or you're playing front to back. But you see here, CCGA is actually taking a page from the OC playbook, and they're banning a lot of engage from Zinzao and Vigo. OC realizing that the Galio was pretty instrumental in stopping anything from happening from Akali and Aurelia.
Yep.
So that's going to be taken away as well.
Yeah, exactly. I think that, yeah, you couldn't have said it better. I couldn't have said it better myself. I think that the taunt from Galio is just, yeah, that, and now with the Hecarim ban on the side of OC, like those two together just caused so much havoc on the side of Oasis Cloud that leaving those two up is just a bad idea. But the
Gwen coming
Gwen.
in first. And we're seeing that it was the Nocturne is going to be the first ban from OC.
Oh, got it. Yeah, the Gwen is something that, yeah, that champion is giga busted. Once you have Riftmaker on that champion, you are just an unstoppable true damage machine. So I'm excited to see what they can do with that pick. She is kind of underwhelming in the first few minutes, but as soon as she gets Riftmaker, it's GG.
It's Seraphine Senna coming in from OC, and pairing Senna with another squishy champion can be a little sus, to say the least. I like seeing it with someone a little bit more beefy who can provide a little bit more peel for the Senna. But we'll see how they pilot it in lane. It's very safe as far as you're able to just sit back and poke and throw auto attacks and Seraphine Qs to deal damage. So it's not a huge deal. They definitely have a lot of agency. So, but in the rest of the draft, I'm looking for OC to draft a lot more of the front line to keep their casters and the back line safe.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the Seraphine and the Senna can both be flexed. Senna, they could go fasting Senna. They could just go support Senna. They could go Senna ADC. So, I mean, there's a lot of flex potential on the side of OC right now. But the Kaisa Braum, that is a potent combination there for sure.
Looks like they're looking to use the Braum as a counter for Seraphine because Senna auto attacks and Senna Q will actually go through Braum shield. It will not be blocked because they're lasers technically and not projectiles. Um, Kaisa is probably looking for all the backline access she can get her hands on.
Ooh, the
Kindred
Kindred.
Kindred is not a frontline champion. I've really got some question mark pings for OC right now, but we'll see what they're going to fill it in as we enter in the second draft phase or ban phase right now.
You know what I want to see is I want to see Kindred ADC. That's what I want to see. I know it's not going to happen, but if they were to pull out Kindred ADC, not only would I be super hyped because they probably know something I don't, but I just think I think that would be the most trolley poly thing ever, and I would love it.
Mhm.
Absolutely love it. But
Yeah, and
the vibe band coming out, so they are so OC is really targeting that like you said before, the engage potential. They really don't
yeah,
want you to be able to engage.
and yeah, I mean with two ADCs and a Seraphine, they're really conscious of their weakness right now. Um, you can't really blame CCG for not really picking up on it, but you'd think that if they could see this, just these three champions, would I would think that they would draft a more engagement oriented support instead of the Braum, who's a little bit just more defensive and zoning. But it's too late to look back. We can only look forward to the future. Oriana coming in because they know that they have three backline champions that are probably going to be clumped in a ball, just dealing damage, trying to be safe. And Oriana would definitely ruin their lives a bit as we're waiting for the last band to come in from CCGA.
Yeah, exactly. I think that yes, I think Braum does have a little bit of engage. I think that his ultimate does have the ability to catch some people off guard, but it's more of a disengage kind of thing. You know, I mean, it can be
Mhm.
used for engage, but it's very helpful for disengaging from a fight. I think what something that just came to mind is I don't know if I really enjoy the Seraphine with the Kindred combo because once
Mhm.
Kindred ults, you're not really getting a whole lot out of the Seraphine ult.
And
If
I just want to say how much I dislike the Rumble ban last. It's so good in against these immobile carries. I
uh,
would just have to assume that CCGA just doesn't want to play it because you have a lot of mobility as far as the Kaisa and the Gwen. They're constantly moving around, and then Gwen can drop her W to immune herself if Rumble's too far away. So Rumble just doesn't seem like a really strong pick into them. So I don't know why they'd waste a ban.
uh yeah, you're definitely right. But the wow, fiddlesticks coming in, and the we're definitely not seeing the kind of protect the 80 carry comp that we saw last game. Unless, of course, they pick something super beefy in the top lane, which Lucian is absolutely not. So
Yeah,
what are they thinking? Like, I don't
this
understand at all.
this is looking like a really high damage comp. They're looking to overwhelm with damage. They're looking to engage on a really good Fiddlesticks ult or a Braum ultimate if they can deny and engage.
Hmm.
So you're really going to be when they're engaged upon, you're really going to be looking at Braum to get the setup in for the team fight. But if they're looking to engage, you're going to be wanting to keep track of where the Fiddlesticks is because they're going to want to engage on the Fiddlesticks ultimate.
Definitely, without a doubt. That once Fiddlesticks has, let's see, oh my god, he is probably, I wouldn't imagine going to build uh Ludens. I would imagine he's probably going to go Leandries this game. But
Mhm.
once that damage comes through from his ultimate, it is going to you've got the fear from Fiddlesticks, then you've got the Gwen just being able to pump out her needles into everyone who's feared. That is just so much damage that's going to come through. So I think you said it really well. Overwhelming the enemy team is really what they're going to want to do.
And looking
Go
over
ahead.
at the OC draft, they brought in Victor as the last pick, and he's a control mage. Control mages are really strong when people enter their vicinity. They control mages, as per their name, are trying to exercise a zone of control around themselves as to where their spells are going to be cast.
Mm-hmm.
So he's really not a good engage tool. And I'm looking at the OC draft, and they're really just looking to engage on if Riven can even get close enough to the enemy team, or Seraphine ultimate off of extending off of her own front line into the enemy. Uh, so I'm really concerned as far as how well they'll be able to force engagements if they're not overwhelmingly ahead, because Gwen and Lucian are really mobile. Kaisa, when she can get an auto attack off or get her W off, or someone can land some CC, is very mobile. And Braum doesn't care about mobility. A big meatball.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I'm I'm thinking. Someone just asked who won the draft. I'm gonna say that I think CCGA has a
Yep.
better draft overall. OC has some really tough questions that they're going to have to answer as this game goes on, as far as how they're going to pick fights, how they're going to manage the game outside of the team fight phase, and when they don't have objectives that they can force on, like Dragon or Baron, it's going to be really dependent on them to use those objectives as engagement tools for themselves. Because if they're not strong enough, then they just don't have any way into this game.
Yeah, exactly. Like you were saying, I think that CCGA definitely won the draft for sure. You've got your early game potential on the side of, or I'm sorry, with Lucian. You have your late game insurance policy with Gwen and Kaisa. You've got your front line with Braum, and then you have your massive engage from Fiddlesticks. As long as he can get a good angle, that is definitely going to cause problems for OC. And like you were saying, with Seraphine being their only real point of engagement, if CCG can bait that out, if they can effectively get that out of Oasis Cloud, then that really all they have to do is go full throttle into OC, and they should win that fight. Um, my one real concern, my only real concern, I should say, is Senna's infinite stacking. She just keeps getting stronger and stronger the later the game goes on. Victor also does get stronger the later the game goes on. But in regards to scaling, I mean, they're basically the same. I mean, there's not really any uh, team that I would say that the later the game goes on, the harder it's going to be for the other side. I do agree with you that CCG did win the draft. I think that they're an overall uh, they just have control over the game as a whole. I think that it is going to be oh my gosh, it's going to be such a fun game to watch. I'm really excited to actually get into the game. Um, so let's talk about, while we're waiting for that to load in, let's talk about the matchups here. We have Gwen into Riven. I know that uh, basically Riven wants to get in really, really close to you and knock you up. So I know that's going to be a bit of trouble for Gwen. But the fact that Gwen can stack her true damage Q up so fast, I think that if that's actually going to cause Riven a lot of problems. I think getting landing that Q on Riven, it should not be a whole lot of trouble. Yes, she did recently get buffed on her shield, her dash shield, but generally, if you can on Gwen, if you can EQ with your passive fully stacked, you're just going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think Gwen has the strongest level 1 in the game with her E start. You get that bit of mobility, you get the bonus damage on auto attacks, and a pretty massive attack speed start rate, as well as a pretty low cooldown. I think at level 1, it's as long as you auto attack someone and get the reset, it's only about a 7 or 8 second cooldown. Um, So it's really good for trading, especially into someone like Riven, who Riven gets really strong at level 3, but at level 2, you can choose between damage reduction in the shield or a stun. I think Riven will probably favor towards the shield, but at level 1, all you can do is swing your sword generally, and I think Gwen's scissors are a little bit sharper at level 1. So she'll probably be looking to play a little bit safe, and I think if Gwen has good wave management, um, I think she can set herself up for a really good lane.
Yeah, I agree. Now let's talk about the jungle matchup. Kindred into Fiddlesticks. Honestly, the Kindred, if she can get, my opinion is if Kindred can get her marks safely, I think it's going to be great. Fiddlesticks, I don't believe, has the best early or is not strong against champions very early. I know that he does have a really healthy clears, but until he hits level 6, his gank potential really isn't that strong. So
Yeah.
I think, but then again, neither is Kindred. Kindred doesn't
Mm.
have great engage to set up, or I'm sorry,
Um,
to assist in ganks. So the setup for those ganks is going to have to be really on point.
yeah. I like Kindred's position. I think, and actually, when we're talking about engage earlier, every Kindred mark becomes an objective that you can
Hmm.
use to force a fight. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how Riven or Kindred's team play around her, because Kindred's level 3 damage is actually insane. Fiddlesticks does not want to meet Kindred in the jungle at any point. If he can just uh, sustain off of jungle camps and walk away from a fight, that'll probably be what he wants to do. Um, just because that execute damage is really good. Riven and Victor have a good chunk of CC to set up uh, Kindred's damage.
Hmm.
So I think their level 3 is probably pretty strong if they try and set up ganks around that period of strength. Um, but overall, though, if CCG really play to their own advantage and they're very good at staying on top of vision and securing objectives, um, I think they still have a way to choke OC out of resources.
Yeah. And then we have Victor versus Lucian. I know this is heavily in Lucian's favor. Victor is stronger later on into the game,
Mhm.
but early on, Lucian will just will Victor's not going to have a good time in the early phases of the lane. So what I would really like to see is him to uh, try and take those early trades, try and keep Victor out of lane as best he can without putting himself in a position where Kindred's just going to come up and poke him right in the face
Mhm.
with the gravity field coming out from Victor. Do you agree?
Yeah. My only real note about this lane is that Arch really struggled last game on the Aurelia. He was like 0-5 in about the first 10 minutes. So we'll see how that affects his gameplay. He could overspec for safety, just staying way far back, um, uh, even to the point of like losing XP if the last game is still in his head. So we'll see how he plays. Hopefully he plays a bit safer than last game at least, but hopefully he still executes on his own plays and trades well.
Yeah, exactly. And then finally we have Kaisa Braum versus Seraphine Senna. Very, 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 very poke heavy 2v2 down on
Mhm.
the side of OC, with Kaisa just kind of wanting to chill. She really just wants to scale up. I don't think that they have a whole lot of 2v2 kill threat, or CCG doesn't. I know that basically Seraphine and Senna they just want to keep them out of lane as long as possible. Um,
Yeah.
and
Honestly, the last game kind of threw me because I'm forgetting exactly what the matchup was last game, but this is a return to the first game where it was ranged melee on the side of CCG and then double ranged on OC. So they're really going to be trying to take advantage of their range. When you have a melee into Senna, it's free stacks for Senna. She's going to be looking to auto attack Braum as much as she can, auto Q, trying to get the quick free stack off. But Seraphine started with Tyr, so she's going to be a little bit vulnerable until she gets some item completions in.
Yeah, and if you take a look at Senna, she did in fact go Grasp of the Undying. She did not go Glacial Augment, which means that she's probably going to go. What is it called? Frostfire Gauntlet, Glacial, or yeah, is it Frostfire Gauntlet? Yes, Frostfire Gauntlet, and so she is going to be a beef ball. People seem to underestimate how much damage Senna can do while also being just having way too much health for somebody who does that much damage.
And that's not even accounting for barrier.
Yeah, exactly. As well as the grasp procs, like, it's just, it's gonna be, it's not gonna be fun if she, as I was talking about earlier, the simple fact that Senna scales into she scales into the sky. She doesn't stop scaling. If Gleason and the kid can just hang out, allow Kaisa to hit her power spikes, I think it'll be just fine. But
it's a double roam coming in on the side of CCG.
Oh my gosh!
Dropping some damage on Seraphine. That's a heal out.
Yeah, but then
that's another flash.
Oh man! So okay, good.
That's a lot of CC coming in onto Fiddlesticks, but he's gonna walk away, content with taking the summoner spells from the OC bot lane.
Yeah, exactly. And that does give Victor oh my gosh, but here comes the gank from Kindred.
Immune to everything. She doesn't actually care.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, that's one of the beauties of Gwen, especially into Kindred. Basically, if she shows up, you WE out and you're fine. She has flash. Or oh my gosh, she doesn't have flash. She has teleported Knight. So yeah, you don't even need to worry. I would just, honestly, I would stay away from top lane if I was Kindred. I would go up there to try and get my marks if I needed to, but much more than that, I would be focusing on bot side, for sure.
Honestly, I think Kindred pulled the trigger a little bit early, because I'm looking at it, and there's no wards on the side of Gwen. So she was actually in the dark there. I think if she had waited for Riven to go in and lock her down with some CC, she could have potentially gotten some more done there. Either getting into range so that her damage landed, or just waiting for the W to expire. Maybe a little bit of a mistake from the side of OC, pulling the trigger a little bit too fast.
Yeah, I think the W from Gwen is it is deceptively long. Like, it does chill there for 7 or 8 seconds. It's you really have to wait for Gwen to pull it herself. And the fact that it follows her for quite a long distance means that you have to chase her seemingly all the way down the lane in order for you to actually get on top of her, which is, just another one of those, one of the strengths of Gwen, and it's hard. It's hard to get on top of her. It's quite unfortunate.
It absolutely is, and that's why she feels comfortable taking the Ignite into this lane, where historically, I mean, Riven's really good at just getting onto someone and locking them down, just to secure solo kills for herself, let alone if you're coordinating with your team and having someone in to deal with that little bit of extra damage. So the fact that she feels comfortable taking Ignite speaks, to me at least, the comfort of Shingo on the team.
Yeah, here's what Okay, so OC was able to just secure that first Infernal Dragon. But here's the thing. You have Lucian into Victor. Why? I don't understand why they let... why Lucian is letting Victor have any priority over that lane whatsoever. Yes, I do understand that the bot lane for OC is going to have priority for most of the laning phase, which is going to make it more difficult for CCG to secure Drakes, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to give them up for free.
No.
The side of CCG did reset they did reset and basically give up priority over the dragon, which did allow OC to just kind of rotate up there and take it. They didn't really put much up of. I can't talk. Ignore me. But we do see the sun coming out of Braum. Kaisa is able to get a few stacks of her passive off, but she's not able to actually proc it. So that they didn't really get a whole lot out of that, which is unfortunate. You see Lucian coming down for the roaming down to the bot side for a potential dive, i.e. Oh my gosh, there's a Fiddlesticks there. They are able to secure the first blood. Fiddlesticks is taken down by the Seraphine though, so a trade, wow, a trade 1-for-1 does come out for both of these teams here. And it doesn't look like Seraphine, who is ultimately the APC, is going to lose a whole lot. She's now tied up in farm, and the wave is pushing away from her. So I think she just gets to chill and farm from a distance for right now.
And it's actually really unfortunate because the first blood money got put onto Braum, which of all the 4 people that were there is probably the person you wanted it on the least. And Seraphine gets the money on the other end.
Oh my gosh, here comes the fight. But Lucian, the Culling comes out for the Lucian, but the ultimate from Kindred does come out, but he is able to secure the kill on Riven. But it looks like the Kindred is able to get out. But what was interesting about that fight was the basically the Kindred and the Riven had Gwen dead to rights. They in fact ran away from her, which I don't understand why they did. I mean, they did see the Lucian roaming, but I think that if they were able to secure that kill on Gwen, that they could have just returned fire on the Lucian who was there. So
yeah, I'd have to watch some kind of replay on that because it really just comes down to when the Kindred ult was dropped. Kindred might have panicked a little bit and just hit the emergency button, which gave Lucian enough time to roam up and lay down the extra bit of damage.
Yeah.
It also looked like Gwen, while she was in the ultimate, she didn't actually get low enough to lock her health bar. Health bar only locks once you get down below like a certain amount. I don't know if it's like 5-10% of the health bar. But she was constantly sustaining. She was about half health when the kill came in and the Kindred ultimately expired. So it looked like she was not quite as dead to rights as OC would have hoped.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, and Riven coming in with the first item, Executioners, to deny Gwen's insane healing.
Yes, exactly. And you'll see that Gwen also bought a Bramble Vest as well. So really mitigating that healing from both of these players is it's going to make the fight a little longer. Really being able to get those Conqueror stacks pushed up, increasing the AD. So we are going to get a little bit of, I would imagine, extended trades, but unfortunately the healing from Conqueror is not going to be as much. So there is a little bit of a trade-off there.
I want to talk about marksman items real quick before this fight on Dragon probably starts. If I could just control everything about my team, I would like it when you have these double marksman teams. If one would commit to the consistent DPS Kraken Slayer, and one would go Gale.
Oh my gosh,
just because you're kind of...
There's the Seraphine ultimate. Senna is coming out. She is dealing the damage, but here comes the Fiddlesticks ultimate. It is a surprise party, and they are not able to get the kill. Oh, they do! The smite! But up in the top lane, the Gwen does pull out her ultimate, but the Riven is able to take the kill on that side. Oh my god, and Kaisa died too. What? I totally missed that. Where did that even happen?
Right in front of the tower. I guess she might have taken an extra turret shot, maybe trying to like do the entire wave or something to shove it in for the dragon.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely a little bit of a misplay. I think the top lane, we didn't really see the fight in its entirety, or how well the trades were going for Riven. Riven might have been trading well, but it also could have just been a stack out. Riven Ultimate gives her a good chunk of AD, which enhances all of her abilities, which give AD ratios more damage, more shielding. It's a really solid spike in damage if you're not expecting it.
Yeah, exactly. Getting those passive stacks off, weaving those auto attacks in between your recasts of her Q ability is super, super important. It's a huge part of Riven's kit. So yeah, that is getting that solo kill onto the Gwen. Actually feels really nice for Riven. And now you'll see Riven coming back to lane with the Merc Treads.
Don't know about the Merc Tread buy. Gwen's going to be dealing a lot of true damage with her Q, and the passive Q being converted damage on that as well. It probably would have been better to go Ionian boots, because then you're getting your shield up more often, and the shield actually reducing the true damage at all. Might have been more useful of a buy, but we'll see. It's definitely useful for Fiddle Fear and Braum stun if he ever winds his way over to that kind of fight.
Yeah.
Involved.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna get at. Having the Merc Treads for the Fiddlesticks Fear, which is inevitably going to come out, as well as the slow from Braum. I think Merc Treads are a good option. I think for laning phase, she's gonna get value out of that in the laning phase, and then she'll also get value out of that come the team fight phase. So I personally think it was a good choice. But they did drop the Rift Herald in the mid lane, and they were able to get a couple of plates onto the Lucian. But it looks like Oasis Cloud is looking to dive the bot side. They don't know that they're there. Here comes the Kindred. The ultimate from Senna comes out. The ultimate from Seraphine comes out. Oh my gosh.
Oh, they're going in.
Oh my gosh.
Braum
Here comes the.
shield?
Oh, Braum. Oh no, Braum. Oh, I thought he was going to get that kill onto Senna, but unfortunately that is not the case. Fiddlesticks is roaming topside, though. Riven does not have vision of this play, but Gwen is going to engage a little bit early. So that, unfortunately, Fiddlesticks isn't going to be able to get anything done on the top side.
Chilling in the brush, moving around.
Yeah. Let's see it. Let's see the surprise party. I want to see it. But yeah, while we're waiting for this to happen, I do want to mention. Oh, but Fiddlesticks is just going to come hang out and help get the turret. But here's Lucian. Oh, where's the culling? No, he's not able to secure the kill on Riven. But Victor's here. Victor is not having any of that. Here's the surprise party. Onto the Seraphine. The fear does land, but Gwen and Fiddlesticks are there by themselves. Here comes the TP from Riven, and it is not looking good for this Gwen. The stun from the Senna does not make it through, and now Braum is here to try and help it. Braum, you're not going to be able to do anything for them. That means a free Rift Herald for the side of Oasis Cloud.
Yeah, and before this section started, where Victor came away with 4 kills over the last few minutes, he was actually, when he was still 0-0, he had a bounty off of just farm. Now with these 4 kills, he's sitting at a 500 gold bounty, sitting on a ton of gold, probably enough to finish his next item when he feels like backing.
When he feels like it.
Yeah, I mean it's a good swing for the state of the game in the favor of OC. And to return to a conversation that I was bringing up earlier about splitting up marksman mythics, they've done that here, where Lucian is going with Gale Force for that bit of mobility and that burst, that assassination potential, and then you have Kaisa with like the late game insurance, consistent DPS with the true damage. It's the kind of stuff that I personally like to see on my marksman.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't agree more. My one big gripe about what is going on so far in this game. Oh my gosh, there's the culling that comes out. But the Braum shield does come out. It doesn't look, there's the Braum ultimate. They do lock down 2, maybe 3 people. The TP from Gwen is here. They are going onto the Kindred. Kindred is able to flash over the wall, but the Seraphine ultimate comes out. Fiddlesticks is on the other side. He is trying to get a good flank on, but he does not have ultimate, and they are able to just clean up the rest of the team, and that is the Ocean Dragon over to the side of Oasis Cloud. It looked to me like they just couldn't get that. Oh my gosh, Victor is going to go ahead and chase down the Fiddlesticks. But oh my gosh, the fail flash over the wall, and here's Riven just to make sure oh my gosh, to try and secure that kill, but it does look like Victor is able to get it anyway.
Yeah, it looked like Fiddle was trying really, really hard to get out of vision and get a ulti over the wall for the fear.
Yep.
I think there was some miscommunication. The team really wanted to go in there. I think they should have either just committed without the Fiddle Fear ultimate, just done it for the damage, or just backed up, because they had managed to push OC off of the objective, but they committed to the fight when not everyone was on board.
Yeah.
And it did not work out for them.
Yeah, their positioning was definitely a little off. The Fiddlesticks behind them, but I don't believe he had ultimate at that time. So unfortunately that was not able to come through, but now Gwen is here. The Fiddlesticks ultimate, very, very questionable, but they are, the fear comes out onto the Riven. The true damage from the Q does come out, and Fiddlesticks is able to steal that kill away from Gwen. I would have really liked to have seen that kill on Gwen, but unfortunately that is just not the case.
They're just trying to make sure that she doesn't get any kill gold, and they're not resetting her gold value. So if she gets caught in the side lane, it's no big deal. She's only worth like 100 gold.
Yeah. One thing I did want to talk about that I keep the gameplay is rudely interrupting me. This happened in game 1 where they were not taking advantage of these early game champions like Lucian, who really needs an early game spike in order to snowball into the mid and late game, and that's just not something that's happened.
No.
He is 30 CS down. He is 1 and 2. He's an item and a half down. So he's just not he's not going to do what he needs to do. He's not able to spike in the mid game, and so he's basically kind of in a really tough spot moving forward. If they can get down, if OC can just lock down the Lucian and kill him, most of these fights are just going to end up being a 4v5.
Yeah, and if this game goes long enough, they won't even need to do that, because returning to the marksman item discussion earlier, he went Gale Force for that bit of
oh my gosh,
damage.
Kindred is definitely hard engaging onto the Gwen, who is going to end up going down, but the Kindred ult does come out, as well as the Fiddlesticks ultimate. The W from the Fiddlesticks does come out. The Zonias is not able to save the Fiddlesticks life. Lucian is able to pick up a kill on Lucian, but that is
first ace of the game, 20 minutes into the game.
That is a feels bad moment. They are probably just going to transition that into Barons. I mean, there's no reason why they can't. And with
Absolutely.
Victor down in the bot lane, so not only are they going to get a free Baron, they're going to get a free bot lane tower, tier 2 tower, and so I'm getting these terrible flashbacks to game 1,
yes.
where they draft really well, right? But they're not playing to the strengths of their team composition.
Absolutely not.
So I think that they are, the longer this game goes on, like you were saying, I think they're not, Lucian is just going to be a non-issue. He's just not. And so I think they're really all they're doing, all they can do at this point is hope for a really great Fiddlesticks flanking gauge, and hope that Gwen can ultimately, I'd love for her to pick up her Rift Maker. I think that would be awesome. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. So they're hoping for a lot of Gwen damage, and they are hoping for a lot of Kai'Sa damage, which just it's not. We're not at that point yet. So
Yeah. So again, Lucian itemizing for an early game that didn't pan out the way I believe he expected it to. Don't know what the Warhammer is going to turn into. I've seen I've seen Essence Reaver. I've also seen I think it's Shirelia's. No, it's not Shirelia's. The slowing Last Whisper item. We'll go with that one. It's been popularized in Korea. There's Fiddlesticks ulting in, but the Riven Riven Shield is too strong.
Yeah, the Riven stun. Yeah, oh my god. When you get 1v2'd by a Riven in the top side, that just doesn't feel good. This game is looking like they are Oasis Cloud is looking to close it out.
Yeah, this is really returned to form for the first game. Arch is unkilled again. His perfect game coming out of him. Perfect game out of Kindred. Everyone's got bounties. Everyone's rolling in money on the side of OC, and they're threatening the base right now, threatening the end.
Yeah, exactly. And Riven does have TP, but here comes the engage from Braum. It doesn't look like they're actually going to do anything with it, but the Seraphine ultimate does come out, the Senna ultimate as well, but they are able to just take down Braum, and there goes Fiddlesticks. The Victor is just too damn strong, and there it is. They are going to try and pad the KD8 a little bit.
Be game.
Yep, but that is definitely game for sure. They are just kind of hanging out now. They know what's up.
Even if it wasn't game, that was the most ideal way that could go, because Braum actually tanked the Seraphine with the shield, so it didn't hit anyone else. But that's going to be GG, OC 2-1. That's going to be the series for them.
Yep, exactly. This series was definitely, it swung both ways, but then ultimately swung back in the favor of Oasis Cloud. Really, I really wanted CCG to go back to. I really wanted them to draft for that Protect the Carry comp, because I think that they really thrived in that environment with a lot of engage and a lot of damage coming out of the AD carry. I think that Kai'Sa does have the ability to do that. I just don't think that they were even able to get to that point, because Seraphine and Senna just were poking them relentlessly, and then Lucian wasn't able to do anything in the early game, which made it hard for him to do that. But I don't want to say all of this without giving OC their merits. Victor was able to play that lane really well. Seraphine and Senna knew exactly what they were doing. Riven, multiple solo kills in the top lane. So it was really just, I think CCG needs to focus more on drafting around their strengths, drafting a composition that actually works for them. I think it's probably front to back for them, and not trying to pull out some of these kind of niche picks, I guess, is what I would say. What do you think?
Yeah, CCG looked like they did really well on an Uzi style comp, a real protect ADC. Not a lot of moving parts. That being said, this game they got off to a decent enough start, but it seemed like they got content. They were confident that they could play the game on their terms, and when OC made some plays and accelerated the game when they weren't ready for that to happen, it seemed like they just lost all of their tempo, and they stopped being able to execute on fights and plays appropriately.
Yep, exactly. Well, that is going to be it for us here today. The Oasis Cloud was able to take this 2-1 over Crystal Cave Gaming Amethyst. Stay tuned for us next week. We will be around on Friday at the same time. And that is it for us today. Thank you guys all for watching.
This has been Zyphus and Uber Cheche. Have a good night.
That's
Find a beast, had a killer conquest, I'm next. I'm too on till I'm too off. Calm me down, make new thoughts like jumping